Welcome to Breaking the Couch, a weekly conversation demystifying what happens in and behind the therapy scene to support your healing journey. We're your hosts.
I'm Dr. Dowdson, a licensed clinical professional counselor, a certified school psychologist, and a trauma specialist with Playfully Psyched.
And I'm Dr. Joe Harchi with Soft Art Psychology, a licensed clinical psychologist.
We're here aiming to provide you with mental health tools to address the cycle of generational trauma across the age span, from infancy and childhood to adulthood.
For more information, visit our Instagram page at Breaking the Couch or our website, breakingthecouch.com. While we hope you love listening to and learning from our podcast, it's not a substitute for a relationship with a licensed mental health professional.
All right, so we're back this week, and I'm really excited about this episode. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about boundaries. And the reason for that is we found that a lot of people can be really hard on themselves when they're learning how to set boundaries, or when they're learning more about the expansive nature of boundaries and what they look like. And so we thought it might be helpful to each share an experience that we've had with either learning about boundaries or one of the first times we set those boundaries. And then you have to stay tuned till the end because we're going to give you a little bit of a homework assignment.
Yes, I think you will really like this. I think this is going to be something that, will be a little different, but, that we'll get to hear some stories about Dr. Dowdson and I and kind of help you to explore some of your own stories. Mm-hmm.
And then I want to just say the reason why we talk a lot about trauma and boundaries can go overall, even people who haven't experienced trauma. However, people who have experienced trauma typically have some of the hardest times in learning to set boundaries because there's some underlying messages that they've been taught that say that they're not worthy, they're not good enough, they're not capable, right? Mm-hmm. And so that makes it really even harder, more difficult to then stand firm in something that you need or desire and to be able to tell someone else about that. So would you like to go first, Dr. Shaharchi?
Yeah, sure. So I was kind of thinking about one of the first times that I set a boundary because I was thinking, I guess basically I'll give some backdrop to it, right? I was thinking about, oh, well, there's been this many years that I've been sort of working on figuring out what it is that I'm feeling, figuring it out, how to kind of express a need, if there is one, or tend to that need internally, either way. And if there is a need, sharing that with somebody, a boundary, right? And I was like, oh, well, it's been this many years that I've been working on that. And I thought, no, it's not been a few years. It's been a rocky path and there's been certain things involved in it. But really, I started this long before my profession. And I thought about in high school, I remember when there's this, okay, how do I say this? I went from this sort of dorky kid that would follow like kids around, and I was like super awkward, and they would just be like, why don't you wear a bra? And I was like, I didn't even know I need one. And they would just, say certain things and call me certain names, especially related to weight. Okay. And then in high school, I happened to join some sports teams and get what people thought to be like super fit. They thought it was like, oh, Hannah's cool now, and I was like, I don't know, I'm still just whatever, right? And I remember one time, one girl, I won't say her name, I'm like trying not to say her name. She was like one of my biggest bullies, right?
You can name drop.
I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know where she is, how she's doing. I don't want to hurt her feelings, but
why not? She hurt yours. Listen, folks, I can be as professional and healed as I want to, but I mean, you put that energy out there, sometimes you deserve it back. And it's your truth.
Such a good support. Yeah. It is. She was really, really mean, always wanted me to leave. I'm like, I don't know where to go. Like, what do you want? Can't just not be here. So just a lot of thinking about that person and whatnot. So then I get to high school. They think I got hot, whatever that means, right? And this girl and I both didn't have dates for a dance, right? And so she was like, oh, let's just split a ticket. and we'll go together, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Do you know that you used to be really mean to me in elementary school? I'm not trying to shame you. I just want you to know that this is like, I don't think you know. The way you're asking me seems like you don't remember who I was. So I'm
Mhm.
just gonna tell you this is what it was." And she was like, "I'm so sorry." And there were other people in high school that would come up and be like, "I'm so sorry." And so it was like, "Oh, I think I started boundaries back in high school." I think that was
Mhm.
like little me or teen me trying to say, "Ouch," like, and we didn't end up going because I wasn't allowed to go with a girl at that time,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So that was a whole thing, but, it's so incredible to me to take a step back and be like, "Actually, there's a lot of gentleness and, like, praise I could give myself for teen me being like, 'Ouch, that really hurt.'" So
Mhm.
there's that.
Mhm. That's
Mhm.
pretty cool. I think that I would imagine so many people can relate to an experience like that, or can aspire to an experience like that, right? To kind of think about it's one thing to have experienced the hard trauma of being bullied. That's what I heard. I heard you say you were bullied. I don't think you said those words in that way, but that's how I understood what you just said. And then to face one of your bullies, your abusers, and be able to say, "Hey, you were really mean to me." And you did it way more gentle than I think
I mean,
anyone
who
has
knows
to.
what I said in high school, but that's the way I recall the story. Yeah.
That's how you your head
Yeah.
tells you did it. Um, but it was really, you don't even have to you because you said in your retelling of the event that you were like, "Hey, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to, like, shame you. You're mean to me." I think that's lovely, and it's also would be lovely if you had said something like, "You were mean to me in high school." And let
Mhm.
people have whatever feelings they're gonna have, and if
Mm.
one of those feelings is
Mhm.
feeling shamed, maybe that's really guilt clouded in shame, right? And maybe it's, something they have to
Ooh,
work
yeah.
through.
Mhm.
But I love that story and just kinda thinking about how that was one of the first times that you're, like, exploring this whole boundary idea.
Mhm. I think it was.
Yeah. I have an example. I was probably this is elementary school for sure. I was maybe 9 or 10 years old. And so there was a playground. There were 2 playgrounds in this neighborhood. I lived in an apartment complex with my family, and there were 2 playgrounds. One was literally right next to my building. Like, you walk out of my building, you go down the little steps, and it's right there. Like, it was no
Mhm.
I don't even think it was feet. It might have been almost attached to the building, right? There was a playground. It was a
Mhm.
smaller playground, but it had a swing set. It had a little jungle gym, like, you can climb through it. So it was a playground. And then in the back of the neighborhood, and I was lived in, like, really big apartment complex neighborhoods, so it wasn't just, like, 1 or 2 buildings. I mean, these were, like, 20, 30 buildings or so, right? Like, so a huge neighborhood spanning. We had at least 3 or 4 different streets, like, actually different street names and courts and yards and stuff, so it was, like, huge. Towards the back of the neighborhood, there was another playground. It was a little bit bigger, but to conceptualize it, in order for it to have 2 playgrounds, that shows you how big the neighborhood was, like, one wasn't
Mhm.
enough for the children that lived in the neighborhood. And, I had one friend that lived in the middle of the neighborhood, like, smack dab in the middle, and then one person that lived in the back. Um, and they would always tell me to go to the playground in the back, right? And
Mm.
one time my mom was like, "Hey," I was like, "I'm going outside to play," and she's like, "I'll be at the playground." And then she was like, "Which one?" I was like, "Oh, the one down by Jasmine's house." I'm Jane dropping. Down by Jasmine's house, whatever. Um, Their names were Jasmine and Candace. And so I went I'm not gonna give their last names, okay? But, I was like, "I'm going down the one by Jasmine's house in the back," and my mom was like, "I don't know, are they really your friends
Mm.
if they can never come to you to play?
Mhm.
There is a
Mhm.
playground, mere steps away from your front door, and it's in the same neighborhood. Their parents could call, I could watch you all if that's a concern, but why are you having to walk all the way to the back of the neighborhood every single time you got to play with them?"
Mm. Mhm.
Um And I was just like, "Whatever, mom, like, they're my friends, right? Like, I wanna go play. What is this?" Or whatever. And so she let me go, and over time I remember one time I did ask them, like, hey, can we come up to my playground, right? Like, I also thought that I had never asked them. So, of course, they would come, right? Like when I asked, and they didn't. They
Yeah,
refused.
mom was right. Oh
Mom was
gosh.
right,
Mm.
right? And the only
Mhm.
person willing to make a compromise or a sacrifice was me. And so
Mhm.
that showed me, so then I stopped going to play with them, at least for a little while. This isn't like a because I was young, but it was that first time of like, "Oh, well, if you can't come play with me sometimes, once in a blue moon, I'm not gonna come play with you all the time."
Mhm.
Right? That very first moment of, like, learning about a boundary and learning about that inherent value and personal value and relationships happened for me, at least around, or one of the most vivid memories is around that, like, 9 or 10 years old, which I think could be really helpful for people to just conceptualize. We were young. You were a teenager in your example. I was a preteen, a child,
Mhm.
really middle childhood in my example. And so the good stuff, right? Dr. Jaharchi said it really well when she said, it helped her have some compassion for herself. It helped her kind of reflect on, this has been a journey that has been rocky, but empowered enough to have started it way back when she was a child, way back when she was a teenager. And so our homework for you all, and I know you're like, homework, I hear the groaning, I see the faces in my
See, I'm
head, right?
super excited for this part. This was all you. I was like, "Oh, I love that
We
inner
always give
work."
you
Yeah.
yeah, we give people takeaways,
Mhm.
right? So we're gonna make this
Absolutely.
takeaway active. We'd love for you to think on, when was one of the first times in your life? Go back as far as you can. So don't just think last
Mhm.
week, because we both strongly believe that you started this journey well before you realized you were starting the journey,
That's
right?
right.
So whether
Mhm.
that's elementary school, middle school, or
Mhm.
high school, go ahead and think about, when was the first time you've started setting that boundary? What was that experience like? Right? Sit on it, reflect on that accomplishment or whatever feelings came up for you then. Um, and then spend some time just acknowledging how long your journey really has been to understand boundaries, because we're in where you are now. Okay.
I
You have
love
anything?
it. I hope they do too. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's like, little you, had that guidance from your mom and, had the painful experience of seeing like, oh, they won't come. And then little me had, some of that reflection of like, wait, how are you gonna act like you're my friend? But you were super mean to me. So we both had those painful uncoverings and then the sort of behaviors to sort of back up a different way of being moving forward. So I'm super excited that you thought of this inner homework for folks. And then I hope that they'll feel free to share with people, share with us. You'll tell people where to share.
No, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Yes, I'm so excited. I really hope
Mhm.
that if someone does it, that they do share it, right? Share it with us on Instagram. Even if you want to send a direct message, we do have our direct messages open. But you can also tag us in your stories, right? You could leave a comment on YouTube if that's where you watch. You could send us a voicemail on Anchor if you listen there. You could probably send us something through Spotify, but I don't know if that's true or not. But you
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah, you're like, "I don't know." You could definitely leave a comment on, our website, breakingthecouch.com. You can fill out a little survey, and there's an open-ended piece, so you can tell us there what this was like for you, and then we could kind of
Mhm.
report out what it was like for people. And for this one, if you do leave your name, which you do not have to, I will not name drop. I will keep your name.
We will protect your
Um,
stories. It's not
yes,
your
yes.
story or my story to share.
Yes,
Absolutely. I'm with
yes,
you on that.
unless you're
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, please share it and put my name in it," but other than that, I will not. I'm only name dropping, people from my childhood that, they have things to face too.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, so we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you until next time.
If you are looking for a therapist for yourself or your child, you can visit our websites playfullypsych.com or softheartpsychology.com.
We appreciate you joining us this week and can't wait till there's another opportunity to jump on the couch with you next week.